So a monopolistic competition is neither a monopoly nor a perfect competition. It is something in between a monopoly and perfect competition. And what are the features of a monopolistic competition? There are large number of buyers, there are large number of sellers or marketers or producers. Just like in case of perfect competition, so there is no difference as far as the number of firms are concerned. Number of firms are large in case of perfect competition also, and in case of monopolistic competition. So, and as far as the entry and exit is concerned, it's also easy. It's very easy for new entrant or new players to enter into the market. So the entry is not blocked as is the case with a monopoly market where the entry and exit are blocked. So you might be thinking then if these two features are not differentiating it from other forms of market structure, then what is the feature that differentiates the monopolistic competition from the rest of the market structures? So the answer is basically uh, the differentiated product. Differentiation or differentiated product is the main defining or differentiating factor that differentiates a monopolistically competitive market from perfect competition and a monopoly market. So in a monopolistic competition, uh, products are differentiated. Products are differentiated, which is not the case with perfect competition where products are not differentiated with each other. Say, for example, wheat and rice manufactured by farmer A is not different from the wheat and rice manufactured by another farmer. Say, for example, take any commodity, steel, iron, metals, or any chemical compound. So, a chemical compound which has exact formula uh, manufactured by company A and company B will be same, will not be different from each other in case of perfect competition. But in case of monopolistic competition, products are differentiated. The producers try to differentiate their own products from the products which are manufactured by the rest of the marketers and producers, by the rest of the firms. So product differentiation plays an even more crucial role in monopolistically competitive industry. So since the number of firms operating in a monopolistically competitive market is very large, so collusion is not possible. Collusion is possible in another form of market structure, that is oligopoly, that we will discuss. I mean, after discussing the monopolistic competitive market. So tacit collusion is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because of the large number of firms. Large number of firms. So since the number of firms is very large, how can they agree on something? How can they enter into some kind of agreement to maximize their profit? So tacit collusion is not possible. Tacit collusion is virtually impossible when there are many producers. There are many producers. In oligopoly, there are few firms, so it is possible that they may collude among themselves to maximize their joint profit. But if the number of producers is very large, collusion is not possible. Hence, product differentiation is the only monopolistically competitive firm uh, can acquire some market. So, if a firm is operating in a monopolistically competitive market, the only way through which it can gain some market power is through product differentiation. Product differentiation. What is market power? What is your understanding of market power? Can anybody? What is market power? So market power is basically the pricing power of the firm. Pricing power means uh, the product is same, but we are interested in charging extra price from the customers. But the same product is being sold by other firms also. So how is it possible for us to sell the same product at a higher price? So the answer is product differentiation. So if we somehow differentiate our own product from the rest of the products from our competitors, then we can charge, know, uh, uh, charge a higher price from the products of our competitors. So that is market power or pricing power, which is absent in case of perfect competition, where every firm is price taker. Every firm is a price taker. It cannot influence the price that is prevailing in the market. So, but in monopolistically competitive market, it can gain some market power through product differentiation. By differentiating its product somehow through various strategies, marketing strategies from the products of the rest of the competitors. So this is the main feature of monopolistically competitive market. So how do firms in the same industry such as fast food ventures or chocolate companies differentiate their fast food, say for example burger or pizza? The ingredients that are used in manufacturing pizza or the chocolate, are almost same. I mean, maybe 100% same or 99% same. So how can we differentiate a pizza by Domino's from a pizza which is sold by McD or fast food chain? Similarly, chocolates manufactured and sold by Nestle and chocolates which are sold by Amul, or chocolate which is sold by Hindustan Unilever. So as far as the ingredients and the composition of different ingredients in the chocolate is concerned, it's almost identical. But nevertheless, they try to differentiate their products from the rest of the products. So is the difference mainly in the minds of the consumers or in the products themselves? So I ask you to think on this point, whether the difference in the product is actual or it's there only in the minds of the consumers. Take any example, say for example, um, Coke. So Coca-Cola, which is manufactured by the MNC, the Coca-Cola, and maybe some Coke like soft drink which is manufactured by a domestic manufacturer. So in terms of ingredient, in terms of taste, they both might be equal or identical, uh, but uh, the difference in these two products may be there in the minds of the consumers sometimes. Sometimes the difference in two products is very minimum or minimal, but in the minds of the consumers, in the perception of the consumers, the difference is very large. Say, for example, in terms of medicines. So a medicine which is manufactured by big international pharma companies like AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Abbott. So a medicine which has same compound which is manufactured by a domestic Indian company, pharma company. So, but we will associate a higher quality perception. We will associate a higher perception of quality with a drug which is manufactured by an international pharma company, multinational pharma company, in comparison to the same compound, same chemical compound which is manufactured by an Indian firm. So, in reality, as far as the actual product is concerned, there may not be much difference, uh, but the difference exists sometimes only in the minds of the consumers. So, what is the reason how the difference can be created? How this product differentiation can be created in the minds of the consumers? For that, we have a whole area of study that is known as marketing. So marketing, one of the objective of the marketing is to create a different to create a perception in the minds of the consumers, which differentiates the products of a firm from the rest of the market. So through marketing we can differentiate our own product from the rest of the product which is manufactured and sold by other firms. So marketing is what? Marketing all the activities necessary for a firm to sell a product to a consumer, which includes advertising, brand name, color, style, safety, safety features, taste, packaging, purchase terms, warranty, location, hours of opening, etc. So we can use these things. I mean, say for example, two products may be same, but in terms of color, they may be different. In terms of style, in terms of packaging, in terms of the terms and conditions of the, offers, say for example, purchase terms, warranty, after sale services, the location, the hours of opening, which is relevant in case of restaurants. Uh, and say for example parks or maybe any other kind of service. So through advertising, through marketing, we can differentiate the products of a firm from the rest. So a firm which is operating in a monopolistically competitive market has to focus a lot on the marketing of the product, on the advertising of the product, because it has to differentiate its products from the products of its competitors. So product differentiation is created through marketing in monopolistically competitive market. In a monopolistically competitive market, a firm creates product differentiation through marketing, and it creates a different perception of its product from the products of the rest of the market. So now I invite you to give any example that is coming in your mind that you think two products are same, but because of marketing and because of advertising, we as a consumer, we as a customer have different perception regarding those products.
Coca-Cola, Pepsi.
Yeah, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Muhammad Saad. Okay. Any other example?
So all the fast food chains.
What Aditya? What are you saying?
So all the fast food chains like Subway, McDonald's.
Yes, all fast food chains. I mean, the pizza and burgers and all these kinds of things are similar in terms of their taste, in terms of their ingredients, but all food chains try to differentiate their own products from the rest of the products by, say, for example, by by using brand name, by using different kind of advertising, by color, style. Say for example, Makalu, no, Maharaja Burger, or by giving different names to their products and their dishes. But in reality, they are not different much from the products of these companies. So all fast food chains are example of monopolistically competitive market. Any other example that is coming in your mind?
So can we consider automobile market because there are also large number of firms, but then they are manufacturing different cars of different categories, but in the end they are cars.
Yeah, to some extent, automobile market can also be termed as monopolistically competitive market because there are large number of sellers and they all try to differentiate their products from the rest of the products. But there are some real differences between the products of different companies. So, I mean, real difference, what I mean by real difference in terms of features and characteristics of one car from another car, in terms of quality, in terms of capacity, in terms of safety features, in terms of the engine power, the smoothness of driving, etc. So there are some exact, explicit differences between the products of different marketers. But
Sir,
what my point is, yes, Aditya. You were-
sir, can we compare telecom companies providing services to us?
Yes, telephone companies are exactly. I mean, their products are exactly same. I mean, but they try to differentiate how a 4G product provided by Airtel, a 4G internet connection provided by Jio, and the one which is provided by Vodafone. These are the three firms. Uh, but it will not be a monopolistic competitive market because there are only three firms in the internet services market of India. So that is an example of oligopoly because in oligopoly there are few firms. If there are few firms, then tacit collusion is possible. And you might have observed this that recently the tariffs of internet, or the tariffs have been increased by all three players. I mean, by Vodafone, Jio, and Airtel. All three have increased the tariffs. So this is example of tacit collusion. They are acting in cohesion. There is tacit collusion among them. So that is an example of oligopoly because there are few firms and they are colluding with among themselves. Okay, now let us proceed. So graphically, in a monopolistically competitive market, sometimes it makes profit and sometimes it makes loss. So both conditions are shown in these two graphs. The first graph is for a profitable firm, and the second graph is for a firm which is unprofitable. So you may see here the cost. So the average cost is less than average revenue. This is average revenue curve. So when the cost is less than revenue, the firm will make a profit. And if the cost is more than revenue, this is average revenue curve or demand curve. So in this case, the cost is here. So the cost is more than revenue, and that represents loss. So if the cost is more than revenue, in that case the firm will make loss. So it is possible for a firm which is operating in a monopolistically competitive market to sometimes be profitable and sometimes be in loss. But in the long run, every firm which is operating in a monopolistically competitive market, uh, in the long run, they all break even. Because if the firm is making profit, then new players will enter into the market, and the demand curve will shift leftward, because other firm will snatch some market share, some demand from the existing player in the market, and as a result, this demand curve will shift left side. So if this will shift left side, the profit of the company will reduce. And if the profit of the company reduces in a particular market, then firms start exiting from the market, and and then a time comes, and equilibrium is generated where there is no profit, no loss. So if the typical firm earns positive profit, new firms will enter in the industry in the long run. So if in any business the profit margin is very large, what will happen? New entrants, new businessmen, new entrepreneurs will enter into the business, which will shift each existing firm's demand curve to the left. What does this mean? If new players will enter into the market, the demand for the products of the already existing firms will reduce. If the typical firm incurs losses, some existing firms will exit from the industry in the long run, shifting the demand curve of each remaining firm to the right. So if firms will exit from the market, the demand
New firms on positive profit. New firms will
for
enter
the
in the
products of the
industry in the
existing
long run,
firms will increase.
shifting each existing firm's demand curve to the left. If the typical firms incur losses, some existing firms will exit the industry in the long run, shifting the demand curve for each remaining firm to the right.
Kamran,
Sorry, sir, I have
no, okay, it's okay. Uh, okay, so if new firms will enter into the market, what impact it will do on the existing firms? The demand for the products of the existing firms will reduce, and their profitability will also reduce. Similarly, if some firms exit from a particular market, then the demand for the remaining firms will increase. So this keeps repeating, and in the short run, a firm may sometimes incur loss, and sometimes a firm may earn profit. But in the long run, every firm just achieves the break-even point. In the long run equilibrium of a monopolistically competitive industry, the zero profit equilibrium, firms just break even. They neither make profit nor loss. The typical firm's demand curve is just tangent to its average total cost curve at its profit maximizing output. So graphically, it can be shown like this. Let me show this one. So this is the average total cost curve. This is total cost curve, and this is the demand curve, and this Q is the profit maximizing level, and average total cost curve touches the average revenue curve or average demand or the demand curve is just touches it, and is tangent to the demand curve. So average total cost curve, which is this curve, is tangent to demand curve. At what point? At the profit maximizing point, that is the point where MR is equal to MC. The point where MR is equal to MC is the profit maximizing level of output. So at that level, average total cost touches the demand curve, or in other words, we can say it is tangent. Tangent. Average total cost curve is tangent to demand curve line. Demand is not a curve, but it's a line. So at this point, average total cost is equal to price. So if the price is equal to cost, it means no profit, no loss. No profit, no loss. So this is what happens in the long run. And why it happens, that I have explained to you, that if there is extra normal profit in a particular business, new entrants will come up and which will reduce the profitability of the already existing firms. So, and this process will continue until the profitability associated with the business in that market will come down, and firms will start losing. So when firms will start losing, firms will exit from that market, which will increase the demand for the players, for the firms which are already there in the market, which are not exiting, and an equilibrium will be generated in which there will be neither profit nor loss. So in the short run, these two scenarios are possible. In the first graph, if a monopolistic competitor may earn a short-term profit, but in the long run, the profit of a monopolistically competitive firm reduces or eliminates. And every firm which is operating in a monopolistically competitive market just break even. Now, a few more points about monopolistically competitive firm. Monopolistic competition and perfect competition share the characteristic that in the long run equilibrium forms are. So this is the case with the perfect competitive market also, that in perfect competition, every firm just makes just break evens and earns zero economic profit or zero supernormal profit. The same thing is the monopolistic competition shares the same characteristic, and the firms which are operating in a monopolistic competition earn zero economic profit. However, there are two important differences between long run equilibrium in the two markets. Monopolistically competitive firms charge a price greater than marginal cost. In case of perfect competition, every firm is price taker, so it cannot charge a price which is there in the market. It cannot charge a higher than that price. So, but in case of monopolistic competition, a firm can charge a price which is more than its marginal cost. So, and but in case of perfect competition, it is not possible. A firm has to fix it cannot fix the price of its product. So the only way it can maximize its profit is by reducing the cost of the marginal cost and average cost. But in case of monopolistically competitive market, a firm charges a price greater than marginal cost. The second point is monopolistically competitive firms do not produce at minimum average total cost, which is the case with perfect competition. In perfect competition, every firm produces at a level at which the average total cost is minimum. But in case of monopolistically competition, the case is different. How it is different? Let us see that using these two diagrams. The first diagram is for perfect completion, this one, and okay, there was some disturbance. I'm sorry for that. It was due to I think network problem. Am I audible now? If there is any question, any confusion, any clarification, you may ask.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I am signing off.
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू सर, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।